Hello and welcome along to Doz's Television Workshop. Today we're going to be changing this magnetic loop antenna out for a collinear, but first we've got to go downtown and do a bit of shopping. Okay, so this is the antenna I'm going to be using. It's quite a long thing. It's about what, 1.3 meters, something like that. Put a tape on it later and find out. It is an ex-military antenna. It's an RA 1632, serial number 17. Look, Rakel Antenna Limited, Southampton, Hampshire, made in England. It's got a frequency range of 420 to 430 megahertz. Now, I actually need it to operate around 439 megahertz, and I've actually tested it there. And yeah, it's got a lot more bandwidth than it says on the label. The only thing I haven't got is any mounting hardware. I bought this at a radio rally, many years ago. But it's got an N-type connector on the end. That may be a screw missing. We'll look at that. So yeah, I've got no mounting hardware. Now I suspect this metal section here may actually form part of the antenna. That might be what they call a bazooka balun. Oh, excuse the shaky footage. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to try to get a clamp, change hands, try to get a clamp round here. So for that, I'm going to need to know the diameter of it. So I've got the vernier calipers here, so let's just have a little measure. And we've got shade over 50 millimeters. So I'm going to need a clamp. I also know that Norman does some project boxes that I rather like, so that's what we're going to go shopping for as well. But I'm fairly sure he's got some sort of clamp bits. Yeah, so I'm going to try and sort of get a couple of clamps on there and clamp it to the mast that the mag loop's on. Okay. Right, so we're going to have a little walk into town. You can see some roadworks going on here at the moment. That's Virgin. They're fitting fibre optic network in, so that's exciting. So I thought, while I walk into town, I'll show you a few little things about the town where I live. Now, I live in Cheltenham, which is in Gloucestershire, in the southwest of the UK. I'm going to do a plainly difficult here, and it's about there on a map. Right, so yeah, let's show you a couple of bits and pieces about the town. So I just crossed the road here, and I should walk down this little alley only to show you something. So down here, it's slippery with the leaves, and you come to this little bridge here, and this is where part of Cheltenham gets its name from. Because if we look down there, over there you can see the weir. This is the River Chelt, and that's part of where the river gets it. The town gets its name from. There we go. You can see it going down there. Anyway, now the other bit where the town gets its name from is yeah, it's because up at the top here, hang on, the man going by with his digger, up there is Ham Hill, and that also has a river called Ham Brook, and we shall cross that in a minute, and eventually the Ham Brook joins the Chelt, and yeah, that's where it gets its name from, Chelt and Ham. Right, moving on. We look over there on that tree, there's a little squirrel going about his business. Anyway, he is right by the Ham Brook, which is running behind that fence, and it goes under this bridge here, and it's quite a small thing. So that's Hambrook, and that runs under the road here over to there, and that wooded section there is just down from where we've just looked over that other bridge. So that's the Chelt there, and this is the bit where Hambrook joins the River Chelt, and yeah, becomes the River Chelt. And over there, look, is Water Lane. Yeah. Right, let's carry on walking into town. So this is the main A40 coming into Cheltenham from the north. I suspect this will be very, very busy today, because Cheltenham's famous for its races, and there's quite a big meeting here today. This is the November race meet, which is one of the reasons I'm walking. One, it's good for your mental health and fitness, and two, I suspect by the time I get back, the traffic will be horrendous. I know a lot of people sort of moan about the races a bit, but the long and suffering Mrs. Dawes used to have a nightclub in Cheltenham, and it does bring some money into the town, so it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? The congestion, bad news. Probably the pollution from all the cars is bad news, but it does bring some money into the town. So yeah, there we are. This little area here we're coming up to now is Six Ways. It's a little shopping area. Yeah, let's go and have a look at that. In fact, there's a sign over there, look. Welcome to Six Ways. So, you see that? Where are we looking? Oh, the camera still. There you go. So, this is Six Ways, so named because of its junction. So, there's one, you can see there. That's Greenway Lane. That's the A40. That's 2. That's Cheltenham Road. That's 3. There's the A40 is 4. Ryworth Road, which is 5. And that used to be open years ago, and that's Cudnall Street, and that's 6. And you can see that little red brick building just about, oh, there. That used to be, in the very early days of YouTube, that was where Doz's Television Workshop was. So there you go. We've got Murphy's Dog Grooming, a very excellent curry house called King's Tandoori and Balti. There is rumours that it's just changed hands, but yeah, it's I went there on Wednesday. The new owners, they might change the name, they've said, but still the same staff, so that's good. Excellent curry. Animate's Pet Shop, that's been there forever. Used to be a hairdressing salon above, that's long gone. Waffle Shop, that used to be a chip shop. The Esso filling station, yeah. The co-op is just there. I think this is or was a recording studio. It used to be a little hall, and then it was noisy. It used to be a little hall, and then it was a martial arts centre. So yeah, there we go. There's the estate agents, Peter Balls. What else have we got in there? Chartered accountants, Cotswold Bespoke Flooring. It's the backside of the co-op. It's a Cotswold Surveyors upstairs. The London Look Barber Shop. That used to be a newsagent's, and just after it was a newsagent's, it was a cobblers and key cutters. Another estate agent, but a bit of a refurb on the bit. The boutique charity shop. Mercy in Action, Second Wind, and Cotswold String. Second Wind is my mate Ian. It's a roasted cafe. Barber King, Accent on Beauty. This is a new pizza place that's opened. Used to be a little Italian cafe. It's Badham's Pharmacy. Solicitors, Alley Cat, Scarlet Monkey, hair salon there called The Scene, hat shop, Latchford's, Little Cheltenham wine bar. Now Hammond's is a kitchen fitters, and if you look down there, you see they've got a little side entrance. Well, back in the 90s, that was a TV shop I owned called Double Vision, so I suppose that was the original Doz's television workshop, if you like. It's a little community cafe, and then the London Inn public house. Right, that's about it for Six Ways. Let's carry on walking into town. There's a good shot. If you look in the distance, that's Eagle Tower, which is Cheltenham's only high-rise office block. In fact, I don't think there are even any high-rise housing left anymore. So this is at Six Ways is just up there. So there's a church building there and a funeral directors. Now the funeral directors was converted into a house a number of years ago. I don't know what it was before, and they couldn't really sell it, so it became a funeral directors. That road there is the A435 Cirencester Road. This here is still the A40, and the A435 merges into the A40 there as we go into Cheltenham. Now here's a top secret thing. This is Haywards Road, and this leads up, but just behind that pillar there's a push button, and if you push it, these traffic lights almost instantly change to let you go. Lots of tips. Incidentally, local folklore has it that that push button is there because that house used to be a doctor's surgery. So in the event of a bit of an emergency, the doctor could get out onto the A40 quickly. Now you can see the traffic's, it's not too bad yet, but it's starting to build up. But there we go, such is. We're just coming up here. Yeah, we're just coming up here. There's a wee gas switching thing in there. Didn't used to have a fence, used to be sort of exposed, but they boxed it in, I don't know, 10 years ago. This is the Beaufort Arms. Very posh pub now, all closed for a private party. That would be a race thing, wouldn't it? And a little Chinese restaurant here, the Volkswagen. Yeah. If you want to go out on the M5, this is where you turn. When the traffic isn't too bad, you can turn down there. General Hospital's that way. Leads off to the railway station. Cheap old car, look. Right, we're coming to the sort of bottom part of the A40 London Road. A lot of traffic going into town, but as you can see from the sign, a lot of it will be turning right later on and going to the racecourse. Also the Cheltenham Town football clubs, the Robins, they're up there. If that's your thing, there you go. Another little parade of shops at the bottom of the London Road. Cotswold wood floors. Tasha's Sugar Art. Very nice. We've got the Dragonfly Chinese takeaway. This used to be a Ladbrokes, I believe. Now gone. Used to have a huge, very big dish up there. Now this used to be known as the Little Yellow Shop. It's now just Keynsham Stores. There is a tattoo parlour now, and a place called Kebab Burger, and that used to be Nora's Cafe, which was a fine place. There we go. Continuing, yeah, south into the town, north into the town. Yeah. So I think this lot is called Oxford Parade. There's Oxford Street, and I suppose it's Georgian, is it? I'm no expert on architecture, you can tell. Up there's the Highbury Congregational Church. I think a lot of these are now converted to flats. I think a few are still houses. So yeah, Bit of Georgian architecture, probably. Yeah, right. Yeah, it appears I got that wrong. If you look under that balcony there, it's Priory Parade. Although this is Priory Street, and that's Oxford Street, so that may well be Oxford Parade. Somebody will put me right in the comments, I'm sure. Right, we're just starting to come into Cheltenham properly now. The road here is now one way. That's Sandford Park. Very nice. And we're starting to see parades of shops and things now. There's richer sounds. I'm just going to turn right here and go up St James's Street and give a blatant plug to a very nice pub. So this is St James's Street. There's a nice antenna, look, lovely. That's the 5-star cab office. Not sure whether they still use UHF, VHF radios. It's all done on a mobile phone these days, isn't it? Right, this lovely establishment, it's a micro pub called the Parrot, and it's excellent. And it's a bit early in the morning here, so it's closed. Maybe they'll be open on the walk home. Right, coming to Cheltenham town centre proper now, and this is where a sort of pedestrianised bit of the shopping and pubs and bars are. It's like a rubber stamp of every other town centre really, I suppose. Yeah, so we've got to walk all the way down here until we start hitting the independent shops at the other end again. Right, this is the area of Cheltenham known as Boots Corner these days. You see this bit's not pedestrianised, the roads come along. And this little fountain area here, a couple of years ago in an effort to tart it up, they covered it in, it was like a concrete structure, and they covered it in green, like artificial grass. It looked awful, but they've spent a bit of money on that now, and it looks nice. This is where we're heading. This is an area called the Lower High Street. I shall wait for the crossing signal. In the Lower High Street we start to see a few more independent little shops again, so that's what we're looking for. This is F. Hines. Centrestone is there. There's a little side street with a few independents up there, but then we come to this sort of, I don't know, recently redeveloped area. This used to be the Whitbread Brewery. It was a huge site, so over the last, I don't know, 20, 25, 30 years, they really have though quite slowly redeveloped it. It's now called the Brewery Quarter, and there's a lot of posh restaurants and bars sort of down that way, and a cinema. This road here is the bottom end of the High Street, Lower High Street, and it's buses only. So it's buses and taxis only. But you can see there's a road at the end there where it becomes ordinary traffic again. And I believe that's two-way. Don't come down here often. Anyway, still heading that way. This has been here forever. Woodies of Cheltenham, high-class vegetables. Listen to this man, sale patter. Give us a go. Can't bolt that, can you? I'm going to have some of them now. Right, I've crossed over the road here. As you can see, the shops are becoming a lot more independent. Except for Domino's. Soap and suds. But the reason we are here, used to be Ron's TV shop, that end building, gone now. The reason we're here is for this fantastic purveyor of electronic bits and pieces, Harding's Electronics. There you go. Say good morning. Morning. Racing? No. No? Me neither. Oh, fair enough. There we go, Harding's Electronics. I've been coming here since I was 14. So let's have a little look through the window. Right. So this is NP Harding, known locally as Normans. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
So, yeah, let's see if Stephen has got what we need. You can see all the stuff in here. Masses of it. If you need it, they've got it, including a dog in a lampshade.
2 hours later.
Brilliant. Got exactly what I need. Right, I'm back walking south now home, just at the bottom of the A40 London Road. As you can see, there's a lot of traffic now going to the racecourse. And yeah, that's building up. First race is in about an hour, I think. They'll get there on time. Right, back at Six Ways. I think I'll pop in for some light refreshment. Light refreshment. Right, having been lightly refreshed, now nearly home. Just taking a little walk down Ryworth Road, which sort of comes out the outskirts of Cheltenham, right by where it sort of turns into countryside. I'll flip you around, you can have a look. There you can see the parts of the Cotswold Hills there, I suppose. So that'll be the edge of Ham Hill. There you go. And that white building, you can see there's a few people there. That used to be a pub called the Ryworth Inn. It was very good. So just at the end of Ryworth Road, and as you can see, it all opens out into fields here. Very nice. We've got to walk this way. Right, back at home at last. Bought some bananas from the fruit man. We've got a selection of nuts and bolts and brackets and things. Project enclosures, look at that, £3.95. Brilliant. 2, 3, 4. Just a useful size and saves having to, you know, use the 3D printer to make something up. And also I came away with this, which will undoubtedly be subject of another video. It's a pocket computer, Casio, what does it say, FX802P, with some very old thermal paper in the printer. It doesn't work, which is just the job really. We'll have a look at that another day. But meanwhile, it's that aerial on the end of a mast. Let's get on with it. Right, so this is the job in hand. We need to undo those bolts here, I think, and lower the whole magnetic loop and mast assembly down. Remove the magnetic loop for refurbishment later on, and install that collinear on the top of that mast. We may actually be able to utilise that bit of bracketry there. Let's see how we get on. Right, so this is the bracket that attaches the mast to the house. Here's the mast. We've got 2 U-bolts there and a selection of possibly suitable spanners and sockets with which to get it all off. You know, I said suitable, I meant nearly suitable. That's either a 14 or 15, and I've bought a 13. One moment, please. Okay. Seems to be 16 millimetres. Cast that one loose. Top one. Just going to have to cut these 2 cable ties off, because that mast is going to want to drop down. And yeah, I don't want to completely muller the cabling. Right. That's that. my fingers out of the way a bit, just in case it does drop down. I suspect the brackets will sort of act as a ratchet mechanism, unless I loosen them too much, which I may well do because it's not got far to come down. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm going to remove, the bottom of the mast is now on the ground. I'm just going to remove this lower bolt completely. Okay, that's the lower one removed. Right, remove the upper one and lower the whole thing down. Okay, let's take you that way. Yeah, these bolts here, they really haven't lasted the test of time, have they? Let's see what size they are. They look smaller. Yeah, they're 13mm. Oh, they're moving, which is something. I think the idea there will be to just slacken these off and then slide the loop off. This is a commercial magnetic loop, by the way. It's, I believe it's made by Capco. Another couple of cable ties to cut. That's it. I'm going to want to remove this connector. I think it's a PL259 type connector in here. Just get lucky, then I'll just unscrew from the bottom. Failing that, tell you what, I'm not interested in using RG58 anymore, or this control cable. So I'm just going to cut that and try and persuade it to slide off the end of the mast. I think that'll happen. Cool. Maybe we need to slacken it a little more. I'm calling that a win. Right, I'm back in the workshop. I've got some of this very sort of substantial aluminium bracket, which I'm going to use to join the two bits of mast together. Here's my plan. On this side of it, where we've got this lip, I'm going to drill a couple of holes, mount that bracket in there. That I'm going to attach to the mast, so the mast will go through the bracket, tightened up, and it will be held in place by this ridge, which will then be on the top of the mast as it comes up. And on this side, we're going to have two of these brackets, bolts rather, pointing that way to secure the antenna to the mast. It may tend to try and pull it one way, but we'll see. That's what we've got to work with, so that's what we're going with. Okay, let's mark it up and drill some holes. Square, I guess. Look at that, to hold it sort of level. I think that should work. Let's go and see. Right. That piece needs to be round that way. Therefore I'm going to fit the antenna first. Like that. More spanners required. More spanners. So there's a 12. Looks like it might be a 12. It might be something imperial. I think I've noticed this one not very straight there. That's better. That is not going anywhere. I'll tweak on these 10s maybe. Okay. That's that in. Now, that's a bit tight. Thank you. It's going to sort up in there. Wish I had a fatter piece of mask, to be honest, but let's see how we get on. I need it to be up a little bit. There's a little gap there that I'm not happy about. Spin this one off a bit. That's better. Yeah, that seems pretty good. It's not too heavy or anything, so yeah, I'm good with that. Coax is the next thing. Now I've got a bit of this stuff, and I've no idea what it is, but it's at the very least RG203. Before my boss takes a look at it and says, "Is that from work?" No, it isn't. I've had it years. Unbranded coax. Anybody see a name on it? Oh, there is one down there. What is it? RG214. Be alright. Okay, so, and the beauty of this is it's got end connectors already on it, and they're the gluey ones, so they're watertight. What I'm going to do is just put a smear of petroleum jelly on the connector just to keep the wet out of it. But like I say, they have a rubber seal up inside the connector. If you look on the end of there, you can see a little orange gasket which does form a very good watertight seal. I think if we were in a marine environment we might wish to protect it a little bit more, and this is only a temporary thing for an experiment, so I'm only I'm not that bothered about it lasting for years. Right, well, it looks fairly square to me. Let's get it in the air. Okay. You'll find when your mast is with the clamps just finger tight, I can walk away. They sort of ratchet together and stop things from moving, which is a good job because I left the spanner. So, final job of tightening up. How straight does that look? Pretty good, I'd say. Right, it's all fastened up at the bottom now. And there it is. Bingo. I added a couple of zip ties on there just to hold the cable. The cable has got tangled up, so I'm going to roll that up the garden in a minute. Now, in behind the bushes here somewhere, that is a little entrance that goes through into the workshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that RG58 through because I don't want that anymore. In fact, I'll just cut it off, cut that control cable that used to tune the capacitor on the mag loop, get rid of that, and pull the new bit of RG214 through. That, by the way, is the satellite receiver for the master clock. Don't know what this one is. I might have to go and have a look at that in a minute. That might be a piece of RG8 that is now redundant, but there we are. That's it. I'm happy with that. So there you go. A little bit of a walk into Cheltenham this morning. Lovely weather we're having, and a chat about that and a bit of an aerial job. So yeah, leave some comments down below in the comments section if you want to. Like, subscribe, do all that rubbish, and I'll see you very soon back on Doz's Television Workshop. Cheers now. Nice job.